Okay, McFarlane, you said the first video you ever seen of mine was a Mini 14 video maybe a year ago. Well, that checks out because I think my top two most viewed videos are Mini 14 content. A lot of people have subscribed anyways for the Mini 14. So this winter, I'm going to stick to a lot of Mini 14 content. And really, today's topic that I want to talk about is I'm either going to, depending on what y'all kind of want to see, I'm going to either go do some accuracy test with the iron sights that I have on my Mini, which is the tech sights that I just recently put on. It's just peep sights. They're just a little bit sturdier peep sights. Or I'm going to put on my red dot that I have on my AR-15 right now currently, but I'm going to either slap it on my Mini, or I'm going to go ahead and put my Vortex 1:6 LPVO. I have two of these scopes, and one of them is on a my Ruger Ranch 7.62x39, but I have another 1x6, and I've been thinking about putting it on my Mini 14. So I'm trying to just hear from you guys, which of those three would you want to see accuracy tests done with? Iron sights, you can only be so precise with. Well, let me say, I can only be so precise with iron sights. And really, honestly, it's true even for a red dot. But with a scope, I can really kind of dial it in a little bit better. So I've already put a dot on my Mini 14, and I've already shot it with the iron sight. So I kind of already know what I can do with both of those. So I'm kind of genuinely curious what I can do with a real optic on the Mini and see how tight of a group I can get with it. That's really what I'm mostly curious about. But if I'm going to take the effort to throw the scope on there and sight it in, I just want to make sure that would be something y'all would want to see. I think I'm gonna do a poll pretty soon, just asking my audience in general how many of you either own a Mini 14 or would like to get one. Okay, so irons are fun, but accuracy testing, you should throw an optic on it for sure. That would be cool. I think you're right. Something I'm genuinely curious about anyways. And because the Mini 14 can be close up or far away, the 1x6 that I have is perfect, because an LPVO, you can get real close with it, or you can get pretty far with it one. So I think when I first discovered an LPVO, what they were, because I've never, on many of my deer rifles that I've hunted with, that's 3x9, something further, I never even heard about an LPVO. But when I found out you can go all the way to 1 power, and that's basically an iron sight or a red dot at that point. Once I found out you could do that, I was like, oh man, I want a LPVO for every rifle I have. Oh, Chef Mullet Man, I now know who you are. You must have changed your name. I just posted a link sharing the live with everyone. I told people I was either going to be on Saturday night or Sunday night, and Sunday was definitely the easier day for me to get on. What's up, Bueller man? How you doing? I'm glad you made it. Yeah, I see that Chef Mullet Man. I did so I could hide in plain sight. That's good. You did good. You did the change without telling me, though. So I was confused on who you were. And now I know, though. Beulah, today we're talking about my Mini 14. Tacticus Legion, what's up, man? He says, what I don't get about the Mini 14 is why they use such cheap screws in their rear sight. I don't know. You figure it out. Let me know. Because I didn't say this. I have a video, okay, of the one Mini when I'm shooting it. But at the end of the video, I told y'all I changed out my rear sight and put in the tech sight one. What I didn't tell y'all in that video, well, what I did tell y'all is that it was really simple to make the change. That was not true. Okay, let me just rephrase that right now. It would have been a simple change out, okay, because there was just one screw that needed to come out, and that's a simple change. But my particular screw in the Mini, it may have well been welded inside the rifle. I stripped like 3 of my Allen heads trying to get it out, and then I stripped the screw itself. So you can only pretty much guess what I had to do. Got the drill out. I had to drill inside there, super careful not to, because once I damaged any of those side threads, it was over. I was like, so I got one of my smallest bits and I drilled down in there. And man, I can't remember what I did now, but somehow I was able to get that screw out. But man, it was so tight, like way too tight. But you know, it was a simple fix to put the new sight on there. It's just the original screw was in there way too tight. Love Dog says, I use both red dots and LPVO setups. My decision is based on the distance I intend to have the rig used for. Dots are great. Out for 100 for me, LPVO 100 plus. The dot is still quicker for me though. Yeah, pretty much. That sums it up. With the Mini though, I'm gonna be shooting close and far. So I really would like to attach the LPVO because I have intentions to shoot close up and far away. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing here. What's up, Garen, man? I'm glad you can make it. Beula's still asking about them Berettas, huh? Well, they're still here. If y'all wanted to know what that creature was reaching up, trying to slit my throat, here she is. She's got the sharpest claws in the world right now, too. Yo, Maple. What? She's just looking up at me like, are you going to feed me? I've already fed you. I don't know what you're doing here. Just trying to butter me up for some reason. Beulah, probably the next Beretta I'd like to get out there to the range is my stainless one that I have on layaway still. I really miss the stainless Berettas. They're so pretty. They're so pretty. And really with the back to the Mini is I still have some different ammunitions I want to try out with the LPVO if I put it on there. So I want to try shooting the green tips that I have. That's the bulk of my ammo is the green tips, the Winchester green tips. They don't shoot really good in my AR, but they shoot okay in the Mini. And I got a couple of other ones too. Really the Mini, you know, in the AR too, other than self-defense, it's not a gun, or you want to go prairie dog hunting or something like that. It's not a gun that really lends itself to a whole lot of hunting type of environments for me, because, you know, there's rabbits, squirrels, deer, hogs. Now it is a hog slayer. I'll tell you that much. That's pretty much what it's the best design for it for me down here is hogs. But other than hogs, that's really like the main creature that it would be used to dispatch. We have them, but they don't pop up in the daytime. They're nighttime creatures over here. Need a spotlight. Okay, Tacticless says, I can't use red dots because of astigmatism, but I do have one that came on my AR in a bundle, the Vortex Crossfire. I think I've heard of the Vortex Crossfire. So with the AR and the Mini 14, I kind of went back and forth on when I was deciding which gun's going to get the scope and which one's going to get the red dot. Originally, I did have the red dot on the Mini 14, but after a while, I was like, okay, so I'm sorry, let me start over. I did have the scope on the AR-15 and I had the red dot on the Mini 14 because what I figured was if the AR is really more of the precision gun, then I want more of the precision optic to be on this gun. So that was my, pretty much intention from the beginning. But then I started thinking about it. And at that time, I had put the red dot on my Mini 14, thinking, okay, this will just be for general use up close and stuff like that, since the accuracy may not be there. This is before I knew that it's plenty accurate. It may not be as accurate as they are, but it's more inaccurate enough for anything that I'm going to do with it. So it's fine. But after a while, I started thinking, well, the AR more lends itself more to home defense and with the pistol grip stock and everything like that. So it's probably going to be used more for up close. So I did a little switcheroo. I took the scope off the AR and I put the red dot on it, but I never did add the scope to my Mini. I just left the irons alone as is, and I wanted to shoot the Mini with just irons. In fact, my intention was to go ahead and swap out those original irons with the tech sight and then just leave it like it is. And I still like that look. I still like just the iron sight look. But if I really want to just like put it through its paces, I'd like to put an optic on it and see what it can do. Because I can't tell you how many videos is out there about how inaccurate the Mini is. And I'm just like, y'all are just regurgitating the same old information that you get. I mean, I feel like y'all not even out there testing the gun. And it seems like every time somebody does go out there to test it, they're testing it against an AR when the AR's group is like this and the Mini's group might be like this. It's like, yeah, the AR is better, but it's not like it's way better. It's just a little bit better. This is still a great group for anything you're going to do. What are you doing? Shooting horse flies at 500 yards? Just never understood that wanting a quarter dime accuracy group, unless you're just like in competition shooting like the most precision groups ever. That's just not practical accuracy in the real world on animals, at least. I mean, I can shoot a prairie dog at 200 with the gun. As long as it can do that, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Paul Kmetz, what's up, man? He says, I keep the tech sights on my Mini 14. It's an older model from the 80s, and if I could find a decent mount, I would put a 1x6 scope on it. I have it set up for the irons right now for 120 yards. Awesome. It's pretty cool. And I'm glad to hear your old Mini is still shooting good for you, because that's the ones that get the most shit talked about. And apparently, some of them aren't that accurate, but I doubt it's as blown up as it is, as people make it out to be. Just every time Mini 14 gets accurate, you got some Joe stands up and says, it's so inaccurate, though. Like, have you ever even shot one? No. And shut up. John Sharter, what's up, man? Thinking about selling my Mini 14 300 blackout, but it's probably not worth it to sell right now. I don't really see the 300 blackout very much in them. I see the 7.62 by 39, but the 300 blackout's not one that usually pops up for me. Yeah, I don't know if it would be a good seller at the moment or not. That is one I thought about getting too, though, is a Mini 30, 7.62 by 39. I did think about getting one of those for a little while. My reasoning for not getting it is because, according to my research, they do kind of have an issue with steel case ammunition. And since there is so much 7.62 by 39 steel case ammunition, I wanted my gun to be able to run it. Maybe not right now, but I'm sure eventually it's going to come back on the market and be, you know, pretty common again. And when it does, I want a gun that can reliably shoot it. Paul says, honestly, it's fine. I hit a 12 by 12-inch plate with no problems, and that's all I really need to do for it. I have no complaints. I got a video of my Mini at 100 and about 100 yards, and I'm hitting I don't know if it was a 12 by 12 or not, but you know, it's just iron sights like you got on there, and I'm just hitting it, bing, bing. Uh, Even though the plates probably is 12 by 12, I'm hitting a spot that's probably like this with the irons. You know, I have it on a rest and stuff like that, but still, it's like that's fine. That's all I need to do. Love Dog says the Mini 14 is inaccurate. Did you over owners shoot one? No, typical. Yeah, right. So okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, right. They just regurgitate anything that they hear. I was like, man, and you know, it's not totally a false claim, but like I said, the newer ones that they have, and then right here, Love Dog, or Paul, he has an older one right there, and it shoots just fine for him. So, and then I never hear about this ammo picky, whether one ammo would shoot better than the other is. So like that was never something I heard about. I just either heard like it was either a magazine issue that you have with them, or they just come straight from the factory with this bad accuracy. So I will say the magazine issue. Personally, I don't ever buy any magazines that are not reliable, anyways. I know some people just can't afford the factory magazines, but if I ever think I'm going to put my life on the line for a gun, I'm going to have the most reliable magazines on it. I'd rather have one good, reliable magazine than four non-reliable magazines, you know? So I'll save up the money and buy a factory magazine, whichever one is the most reliable. Metgar, I know they don't really make them for Mini and stuff like that, but Metgar is a side company that makes a lot of factory magazines, which I have found to run, you know, my Beretta 92s. The Metgar makes very reliable magazines. Even my SIG 226s, they make magazines for. Never had a problem with any of them. In fact, I think the Metgars run better than the original 226 magazines. That's okay, Love Dog. I kind of understood what you meant. He said, sorry, where are my damn readers? Tacticless says, as a cross-eye dominant shooter, the Mini 14 is easy to manage, but learning how to get that magazine locked in takes time. Okay, I agree. And also, I am cross-eye dominant either, but I have learned to use my other eye just because the magazine issue, the lock-in place thing, it did trip me up for a little while as well. But I finally got fed up with not being able to do it correctly. And I started coming at the gun more aggressive and more confident. Like before, I'd be like, okay, am I going to get it in the right spot? Like that. I quit doing that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this magazine inside this gun. And I just went vroom, like that. And I got it immediately. Once I came at the gun with a more of aggressive attitude, I never had another problem inserting the magazine. I don't know what it was. Kind of reminds me of when I started to drive stick shift. I didn't know how to do it, and I kept, you know, clutching it every other time. But one day I came home from school and I was like, you know what? I'm driving that stick shift. I just went out there, got the key to start that thing up like that, and it was good to go since then. Sometimes certain things just need a little bit more of aggressive attitude, and once you do it, you'd be okay, or at least I was. T-Dub says, I've been using Wolf Polyformance. Okay, I'm not sure what that one is. I'll have to look it up. Paul says, I had a Mini 30 years ago, but I had to sell it because I was paying 2 mortgages. The problem with the Mini 30 was the magazine availability. I don't know if that's changed. I don't know either. I think I see some Mini 30 magazines every now and again. But again, I don't think it's the magazine issue now. It's the gun being able to run steel. It just doesn't seem to love it. Paul says, I should say I do hand load and I found my Mini 14 like 62 grain projectiles, the best. Well, that checks out because the green tips that I use are also 62 grain. The AR, my AR, Springfield St. Victor, it don't really like them 62 grains. I think it likes the other 50 something grain ones the best. But the Mini likes the 62 grains. Okay. Salvador says 100% on factory magazines. I agree. Sir, what gun is the holster, please? What gun is in the holster, please? Okay, so you're talking about my setup right here. So let me show you what gun's in the holster. That one right there. It's beautiful, huh? Look at all them magazines. That's the gun that's in the holster. Okay, now let me tell you what's supposed to be in the holster. SIG P226. I do not put the gun on because of YouTube's policies for live videos. Okay, Yankinator says, what's your email? Would like to send you pics of my Mini and 100-yard targets. The email is going to be Leverboy. Hang on. Let me double check, make sure it's right. Okay, the email is going to be leverboyluke@gmail.com. Leverboyluke@gmail.com. So if y'all ever want to send me anything, some messages or something, that's the email. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find it on the YouTube thing itself. Paul, are you asking what the lightweight carry option is or telling? Hungry Yeti, I've tried all of the minis and irons just seem right. Well, can't dispute that. In a perfect world, I'd love to be able to throw my optic on and immediately throw it off without disrupting the optic itself, you know? Oh, I see. Okay, Paul. You say, no, invisible guns are light. I see. Okay, yeah. Right. Yes. Use your imagination. Just put whatever gun you want in the holster. It's a nice holster. I would love to have two minis, really. If I could afford it, I would have two minis. One with optic. No, I'm going to take it back. I'd rather have three minis. One with my irons, one with a red dot, and one with a scope. That's what I would love to have. Just a setup for every situation. In fact, I love just having a bolt action set up the same way. Really, I used to love like African carry bolt actions. I just love seeing big game hunters tote around a big African bolt action gun. And I just love seeing really good, legit iron sights on bolt action guns. Well, unfortunately, the Ruger Ranch that I have in 7.62, it's a good gun. It shoots really good, but there's no iron sights on it. You know, there's like a little spot, a rail for a red dot or a scope or something like that if you want to put on it, but it didn't come with any factory iron sights. And I was like, come on, man, put the iron sights on the bolt action. I don't understand why all the manufacturers don't do that. I mean, a lot of them don't do it now. They just assume everyone's going to throw an optic on immediately. But I'm not that, you know, sometimes I want to shoot with the iron sights. Put me some iron sights on the gun. Love Dogs, I'm glad you agree with the SIG 226. It's classic. I got three of them. I got a standard 226 Nitron. I got a Legion 226. And then I got a West German two-tone. I got videos on all of them, I believe. And the two-tone is gorgeous. It's got the stainless slide. It's not stainless, though. It's stamped sheet metal, I believe. You know what? That's kind of that's a good question. I don't know that one yet. All right. Since the two-tones, you know, all the older slides to the West Germans were stamped sheet metal, but because that one is got the stainless look to it, I wonder if it's can't be. I'm gonna have to go double check on that. Joshua Davidson says irons or scope on a mini red dot just don't look right unless it's one of the folding stocks. Yeah, the Samsung folding stock definitely has that going for it. Now, I like the stainless ones and I like the black one. Uh, they both look good. I'm almost one of the people that like the blue versions a little bit more than the stainless ones, but they both beautiful. If I ever got the Samsung folding stock for mine, I'd probably get the blue one though, because the gun itself is the blued version. I really like to buy some premium 5.56 ammo because I don't really have any premium good stuff. So I need to go out there and because I don't want to do these tests. I mean, it's good to do these tests with cheap ammo. It's good to see if it'll shoot the cheap ammo good, because sometimes all we can afford. But I would like to give its best chance. So I would like to shoot the cheap ammo, the medium ammo, and then the expensive ammo, just to see what each group, what it can do with each group. Boy, it's a good feeling when you get some cheap ammo though, and your gun shoots it good. Like, oh yeah, I'm set up for life now. You go buy all of it, even though that's the only gun that the ammo will work in. But that's cool. It's just like it sends you like, okay, look, I get this gun only takes this ammo, so it's good. Just keep buying that much ammo. Hungry Yeti. Right. Took off the aim point, just not the look. Because come on, man, you gotta look cool. It's true. Figured out a long time ago. There's no reason why I can't look good and have everything else I want. Because usually it takes a little bit more extra effort. I'm just gonna say it takes just a little bit extra effort to find something you like the looks of and the performance. Performance is it's there. You got to have that one. You got to have performance, always number one. But there's no reason you can't find something aesthetically pleasing for yourself. So I just take the extra effort these days to, even if I find something that's performance and it's there, I'm going to find a version of it that looks good that I like. Because there's just, I want it all. Joshua says, you do any mods on your Mini 14 beyond the tech sites? I reduced the gas bushing and added a Wilson Combat shock buffer on my 584 series. Very nice. I have not done any mods to mine because I don't really feel a need to do anything. A lot of people tell me to reduce the gas so the brass doesn't shoot out 300 yards like it does, but I don't care if it shoots out 300 yards. It doesn't, I'm not collecting the brass. I don't reload. I don't do any of that. And honestly, I'm fine with it shooting really far away. In fact, I prefer it because I just want to know the bullet's going to leave the gun when it needs to. So even if it does go 100 extra yards and it needs to, I don't care. Oh, I have added another mod to it. I added a barrel stabilizer to the end of it. SOCOM, I think it was the name of this one that I put on. Whether it's doing anything or not is questionable because, first of all, my version of the Mini is the carbine. So it's got a 16.5-inch barrel and it's the new thicker barrel. So really, how the barrel is thick, and then it goes down to thin. There's probably only this much of the barrel, maybe this much, that's thin because the rest of it's thick. So whether that ending of the barrel is shaking when the bullet goes out or not, I don't know, but I do have the AccuStrut stabilizer on the end of it. Whether it's a helping accuracy, I don't know, but I'll tell you what it is also helping is the recoil, because this little AccuStrut thing, even though it's only like this big, it's got some weight to it, so it is weighing down the front of the rifle more than it probably needs to be, but it's causing less recoil to come back up and down. I will tell you right off the bat, even though I'm a big proponent of the Mini 14, I put the Mini against the AR shoots softer. Not that the Mini shoots bad or anything like that, but I was like, yeah, the AR definitely shoots softer. Okay, love dog. See you later, man. Okay, Paul, that's true. I used to carry a SIG 2220 at work and had to put the walnut grips on it. I refinished it myself, and I got a lot of compliments on it. Well, congratulations on that, because I love refinished wood. I wish I could do it better myself, but I built this desk right here that the computer's sitting on right now, and I had to go through some stains to get that wood the way I wanted it. Love the 220 though. I had 3 of them, but I got rid of all of them. I wish I had kept one of them. In fact, the one that I wish I had kept, I got the Hogue Par Favreau wooden grips for it. Beautiful wooden grips, man. It was awesome, and I could hit really good with that gun. Money was tight, and you know how it goes. Yeah. So Joshua, he said the AccuStrut. He said, yeah, functionally aside, the thing looks awesome, and that was pretty much the driving force of why I got it. Is because it reminded me of the M14, and it gave it that look. So I was like, I just like the classic look of the M14 and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna add an AccuStrut to my Mini and see what it looks like. And I've gotten tons of compliments on my Mini and how it's set up. So it's gonna stay like that forever. I'm never gonna change it. Paul says, I was considering putting the barrel strut on my Mini, but it doesn't seem to even need it, even with the thin barrel. I do like the look though. And honestly, if it doesn't need it and you don't really care about the look, don't even add it, because adding excessive weight to a gun, if you don't need it, is unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. Keep that gun as light and tight as possible. You're going to thank yourself when you're walking through the woods a little further than you're used to. And you're like, man, why is this gun hurting my shoulder right now? It don't need to be this heavy. I went through the woods many a times, and it's like, I remember my dad, me and him was like walking through it, and he had we both had 22s, but he had a 22 with a thicker barrel on it. He goes, I'm getting tired. I'm like, why are you tired? You just carried 22. He goes, yeah, but this one's got that thick barrel on it. It's like, give it to me. And I had to carry it, but he was getting worn out over a thick barreled 22. But it is true though. If you can stay light as possible. Well, okay, guys, that was a good little stream. I got to talk to y'all about the Mini 14 and what y'all want to see. So I'll be getting out there real soon. Today was one of the first days we've had a really good, cool day. And I think we're going to have a lot more of them from now on. So it's time to get back out on the range and start shooting with the gun and the cameras. If any of you want to join my Patreon, I got links set up below. And I will try to be on here again next weekend around 7 p.m. Try to get on at least once a weekend with these streams so we can keep up to date with each other. But appreciate all y'all getting on tonight. Y'all take care. See you next week.